Well, hello and welcome to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host today, Mayor Tim Elinski, and I'm very pleased to have with us virtually today in the virtual studio Matthew Martin and Carol Quasula. Matthew Martin, you are the new Executive Director of the Verde Valley Homeless Coalition, and Carol, you are the Board President, and it's a real honor to have both of you together at the same time for this interview. I've been wanting to get you both on for a while, but things have gotten a little crazy lately, so just didn't have an opportunity until now. But welcome to both of you. How are you all doing today?
Thank you very much, Tim. Very excited to be here.
Yes, doing well, Tim.
Good. Matthew, I wanted to start with you, and you've been executive director now for time flies, but it's been at least 6 months, right?
Just barely 6 months. Well, it'll be 6 months on the 6th of July, actually. And it's been an interesting 6 months, to say the least, with COVID and a few other things that have occurred. But it's been fun. It's been a really interesting experience. I've enjoyed my time here. It's been a learning experience too. But luckily, I have Carol here to take most of the heat and backlash from the things that I don't quite get right sometimes. But she's been a true champion for the coalition and for all of the things that get done. So it's been exciting.
Yeah. Well, good. Yeah, we're lucky really to have you, Matthew. There, as folks may know, I serve on the board as well. And we had a long list of folks that we were interested in, but you definitely rose above the others that we interviewed. So we're really lucky to have you, and you have quite a varied background. So if you don't mind, just take a few minutes here and introduce us to you, and let us know kind of where you're from and how you wound up here, and what you've done before you served the coalition.
Well, I started way long time back in the 90s. As in the Arizona Department of Corrections, and I worked in the department for 20 years, on and off at least once. And in that time, when I was off, I worked for Bosch. I was a regional sales manager. I was over the Northwestern United States, and I had 8 states under me for their water heating division, which in plumbing. And so I managed their wholesale distribution. And I wound up with that just by taking a chance when I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and packed up with my family to Vermont. And that was an adventure in and of itself, but it wound up taking me to Seattle, and I eventually wound up back here in Arizona, which is home. 4th generation Arizona. My great-grandfather was born in Fairbanks, as well as my grandmother. And so been around Arizona for quite some time.
Great. I didn't realize you were 4th generation. That's impressive. And Carol, you too. You're an Arizona native, aren't you?
I'm an Arizona native, born in Prescott, and probably lived within 75 miles of there all my life. I've been a resident of Cottonwood for over 40 years. My background is social work, and I worked for Arizona Department of Children's Services, Child Protective Services at that time. Did that for 27 years, and then the last 10 years of my career, I was a programs director for Catholic Charities, which is when I got involved with the homeless through the programs that Catholic Charities offered. So after I retired, it didn't take me long to find myself volunteering again to work with the population that we serve here at the Verde Valley Homeless Coalition.
Very good. Well, Carol, I've served with you since the inception, really, of the coalition. You've been a real inspiration. It's just great to have someone on our team like you, because you've got such a wealth of experience and so much passion too. Your heart's definitely in the right place. And Matthew, I know yours is as well. So before you came on, Matthew, we were working on our. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just saying, I have such an incredible board behind me, all of them from various backgrounds and that they all have such incredible passion and dedication to this cause, and are very supportive. So an organization like this can only go so far without a board like this one has to be able to be successful.
Right. Very good. Thank you for that. Before we hired you, we were working on our strategic plan, and then you came on board, and I think you've really helped sort of catapult things into action. And I'm just so pleased with the results of your hard work. So, but before we kind of delve into some issues, I just want to talk just briefly about what it was that made you want to come work for the coalition, and then if you could kind of help us understand what our, explain what our mission is, and sort of how that aligns with your passion as well.
Okay. Well, working in the Department of Corrections, I dealt a lot with recidivism and inmates that are being released into the population, and a lot of them, actually have mental health issues, have job issues, have housing issues, have all of the things that what the Verde Valley Homeless Coalition deals with on the opposite end. And I had trouble sending that inmate out into the public when they had no place to go, they had no resources or people to at least reach out to ensure that they were successful in their release. 9 times out of 10, an individual gets released, they wind up going back to the exact same place where they went into prison from. And I don't care how strong or resilient you are, if eventually you're going to wind up in those same circles and those same routines that led you to being incarcerated in the first place. So I really enjoyed that aspect of my career when I was able to work with placement and whatnot, be it semi-short-lived over a 20-year span, but it was something that it always concerned me, or I was had passion about in regards to correcting recidivism, because the return rate to prison is just astronomical, and we as a society I believe are creating criminals when we could do other things to prevent that and or to change someone's outcome. And then as far as our mission here, it sort of aligns with that. Is basically giving someone a challenge, or a chance, or a help up to change their lives. I have a saying that I say on a regular basis: "It's one act of kindness can change a person's life," and that is extremely true. And is all somebody needs is just the chance to develop or to blossom or grow and to affect positive change in their life. And that's what the coalition really stood for, or stands for, is just giving them every opportunity to affect change, whether it be drug addiction or housing issues or mental health addictions. And working in the coalition has granted me the opportunity to do that and see the success stories from that. A few success stories just in my short time with the Verde Valley Homeless Coalition, where I saw a 65-year-old woman who wound up homeless due to no fault of her own. It was a housing condition that put her there, and she's now back in a home after being homeless for almost 8 years. And she said that she couldn't find a house. It's just she couldn't afford one on her own with her Social Security. So being able to find her and place her back into this care has been amazing. There's a few other success stories like that as well. So that we did a whole lot, but we did enough to just connect her, to give her the assistance she needed to affect change.
You were preceded by Raina Avalon. She was our executive director, since we became a 501c3 and established a board and everything. And we're really grateful to Raina to have gotten us as far as we've come as a board. But since you've come on board, you've sort of given us a facelift, and giving the facelift to the drop-in center there off Main Street. And a really great example of that is the logo that's right behind you. So I don't know if Carol, maybe you want to talk about the story behind that, or Matthew, if you would like to, but I think it's just great that
I'm going to defer to Matthew, because I have to say that I was describing it one way yesterday and he had to correct me. So I'll let him kind of let you know what his thoughts were, and then to talk about the painting behind us.
Well, the painting behind us is done by one of our clients that we work with on a regular basis. His name is Jacob, and he's an incredible artist. Like so many within our homeless community, they have so many gifts and talents that they can bring to Cottonwood and to our valley. But he is painting it, and unfortunately, it's not quite done yet, but it's almost there. But what it is it stands for a couple things. One, the tree is growth and development, and no matter what occurs in life, every year the leaves fall and a new is reborn. So there's that aspect of it. So the tree really isn't just a tree; it's actually an angel. So the angel with the leaves and whatnot being the wings. Is sort of just the guiding light, so to speak, to help those individuals that are seeking or want to affect change or want help to sort of guide them through whatever they're going through. So the tree has a couple different meanings, and the tree actually it's always resonated with me in a great deal. The tree of life and whatnot. Being found in every major civilization throughout history. So I kind of wanted to incorporate that and then go sort of build on it. And I worked with an incredible individual to help me create and develop the logo. And that's what was come up with, was the tree, which is an angel, and then feeding to the Verde Valley Homeless Coalition as a base or a foundation. So something from which to launch from or move forward.
excellent.
That's sort of
Very good.
Is that what you had, Mike?
No,
Absolutely. He schooled me on that yesterday, Tim.
That's great. No, it's fabulous. I think I know you have a lot of wonderful volunteers that help you out over there, but with your leadership, you've really done a great job to clean things up and make it a very inviting space. So we appreciate that very much. I've got to cut both of you off real quick. We're going to take a real quick break, come back in about a minute. And when we get back, Matthew, I wanted to ask you just so you can help explain to folks that are watching, sort of what your day-to-day looks like, and talk a little bit more about the folks that you serve there. So one quick break and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness.
When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.org.
All right, welcome back. This is Inside Cottonwood with your host, Mayor Tim Elinski. Lucky today to have both Matthew Martin, the Homeless Coalition. Matthew Martin, you are our new executive director, and I'm very happy to have both of you with us virtually today. So before we left off, we were talking a little bit about some of the hard work you've been doing over there since you've come on board, given the center a facelift. I saw the brochure that you put out too. It's very classy, very nice. It's definitely leaves a good impression on folks. And I just want to talk a little bit about, you operate out of 654 North Main Street. I'm sure most folks know where that is, but it's there on Main Street just as you're heading into Old Town. It was the old food bank, as we all used to know it.
Yep.
Matthew, what is it that you do there, and who do you serve? Can you just sort of give the listeners a little synopsis of what your day entails?
Sure, absolutely. Well, the Verde Valley Homeless Coalition, in my view, is sort of an umbrella to help connect our homeless community members with any services that we have available here in the Verde Valley. So we're not here to duplicate services or to compete with anything. We're here to just connect the services that we can. So every day we serve on average between 25 to 35 individuals at our transition center. Our transition center is available from 1 to 5 p.m. Every day for assistance with job placement or resume or looking up jobs online or applying for jobs online. And then we have some counseling sessions and groups that go on, or life skills classes that we teach from time to time. I try and meet with all of the individuals that come through here just to sort of see what they're doing and where they're at and why they are where they are. Some of them, they need referrals to incredible organizations like Spectrum or Catholic Charities or the Mission or numerous other organizations throughout the Verde Valley that we refer these individuals to. A lot of times the Verde Valley Homeless Coalition is the first ones to see some of these individuals when they come into town, so we're able to get them a list of all of the services that are offered. So when they have showers or food or job skills or mental health evaluations, anything like that, we get them to the right people, into the right hands, should they so choose to utilize those services. And so we do that, and then we also, during inclement weather, have a cold weather overnight shelter, which is typically when the weather falls below 35 degrees. We operate an overnight shelter as well for up to 20 individuals. So.
Great. And how many volunteers do you have helping you out with all this?
Well, pre-COVID-19, I had quite a few. But we are a volunteer-based organization, and from the board to the people that come in and assist and help, or ones that are teaching classes or offering counseling, they're all volunteers, they're all volunteer-based. That being said, since COVID has hit, those individuals, which a lot of them are in that category, that is high risk, and justifiably so, that they've been home. And that's exactly where we want them to be. But we definitely are always looking for volunteers to do various things. So whether it be from signing people in to running a counseling group or a job skills class or whatever whatever way they want to assist us, we can figure out a way for our volunteers to feel like they're effective and that they're doing what they can to help improve or to make someone's life different.
Great. So you're always taking new volunteers. I'm sure they can just reach out to you by email or phone if they have a passion and a skill set they want to share. Okay, great. And I do appreciate you too saying that we're not here to duplicate efforts. And I think that's really important to understand, because the coalition, I think, does a really good job of connecting folks with those agencies that they need to visit. I think we have so many great agencies in this community, and of course the coalition is just one more. And we're certainly not trying to reinvent the wheel or duplicate efforts, but just really connect people where they need to be to start their transition.
Absolutely. I think that's vital for our clients as well as the community members to understand. we all do different things and we all have our different areas. And so all of us work together as a team to serve our communities.
And Carol, I want to turn now to you. And if you could just let us know a little bit more about the board. You know, again, the Verde Valley Homeless Coalition has been around for a lot of years, but it recently, in the last couple of years, formed as a 501c3, put a board together. You've been with us every step of the way on that. We're fortunate, of course, to have hired an executive director to help push our mission forward. But we have a great board. I don't know if many folks know who's on the board, but if you want to just tell us a little bit about the board in the next few minutes here, and just touch on some of the strengths that we have.
Absolutely, that would be my honor. It is. It's just an outstanding board, and so basically, Tim's already let you know he's on the board, and we appreciate his skill set. We also have Peter Flynn, and Peter spends half of his the year here in Arizona and the other half in Canada. And of course, with our spike in COVID cases, he's quite glad to be in Canada right now. They evidently are doing much better in terms of numbers. But he has a background in housing, and so he's very skilled at grant writing. So he helps us all the time on writing grants, and then of course he and Matthew do the wordsmithing, and because of that, and Matthew can speak to this as well, we've actually gotten some grants with state agencies that we never had before, so we're really excited about that. Then we also have Jordan. Jordan is Rika, and Jordan grew up in this community, and then he went to Tucson and furthered his education. And after graduating, he's a CPA. He went to work for a firm in Tucson that basically works with nonprofits. And so Jordan and his family now have moved back up to Yavapai County, and Jordan joined our board about a year ago. And Jordan now is our financial chair, and it has been exceedingly helpful in just keeping us on track financially, but also assisting with these grants that we're applying for, because they all require financials to be attached. So that's been super helpful. We have Ryan, and Ryan, another Verde Valley resident, and he has a background. He's a social worker and a counselor, and has worked for Spectrum. Now he's working for the jail system and working with juveniles. And so he's been really helpful, just keeping us, right with our programming. We have Emma, who is with family agency in Yavapai County. And so she's been extremely, and has been an executive director herself. So she's been a great addition to the board. We have Naomi Barkamic, who actually is going to be leaving our board. She's tendered her resignation, but not because she's going to leave our organization, but just feeling like it's a well-rounded board, and she feels like she can just step back and help on the day-to-day operations. So we've really enjoyed having her. And then we've got Garth, and he is a commander with Cottonwood Police Department, and that's been another wonderful addition, and he helps us out. He's also himself looked for some grant opportunities. So, and then he is on the committee that overlooks our financials. And then we brought on Laura Cox, who is just excellent at fundraising. So she is organizing a fundraising event that may go virtual. We'll just have to see how things go with the COVID-19. But we're going to do it one way or the other, and it's going to be a 60s theme. So we did 50s last year, and everybody enjoyed it. And Tim was our MC, and just did a great job. And so we're gonna do something fun again this year, whether it be live or whether it be virtual.
Very good. All right. Well, that's an excellent segue into what I wanted to speak about next, which of course is COVID and the impacts it's had on the coalition. But before we do, we have to take a quick break. So stick with us. We're going to take a 1-minute break and come back and continue our conversation. Thanks.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness.
When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.org.
And welcome back to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host today, Mayor Tim Elinski. With me is Matthew Martin and Carol Quasula Coalition with us virtually today. And we just have about 5 minutes left, but I wanted to speak about COVID-19 and what that's done to your organization, Matthew, and how you've been able to navigate some very challenging times with a population that we all know is very full.
I think one of the biggest concerns or areas revolving COVID was the fact that if one individual wound up with COVID-19, that it would just run rampant through this population very quickly. Especially the initial reports, and we were all very, very unsure about how this was going to affect us and the outcomes we would have from it. So from the very onset of it, we developed through the CDC, as well as Yavapai County, City of Cottonwood, a plan of action, so to speak, is what are we going to do and how are we going to manage and treat people that we need to assist that visit us so frequent as, and whether or not we're actually going to even remain open. We voted as a board to remain open, and with that we instituted a set of rules revolving around COVID. So everybody that comes into the Verde Valley Homeless Coalition has to, one, wash their hands, and two, we are taking the temperature of all of the individuals that enter the premises. And anybody that shows any signs of anything is automatically referred to the Verde Valley Medical Center for evaluation. Luckily, though, we have not really had any occurrences like that. We've had no cases of COVID within the homeless community that I am not that I'm aware of as of right now. That being said, we also implemented some outreach services, so going out and educating all of the individuals that we come in contact with about COVID-19 and how to best avoid it, and to the reasons for social distancing, the reasons for hand sanitizing, and all that stuff. So go out and just talk to the individuals within the community, on how to prevent it. And then we sort of developed a plan as to what we're going to do, and should we come in contact with one and they get released back into the community, released from the hospital back into the community with COVID, and how we're going to care for them and keep them isolated. So utilizing hotels and whatnot, we have a system in place to manage all that. Fortunately, we really haven't had to come to utilize a lot of that because we haven't had any cases of COVID within our homeless community.
Yeah, we've been fortunate for that as well. I know we're all concerned with the increase in cases here recently, but I've been very impressed and just humbled by the outpouring of support from our community. I know that Spectrum stepped up immediately, BVMC as well. We have area hoteliers that have offered to put folks up, first responders as well as some of the patrons of the homeless coalition.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
Really,
and the first responders. Sorry.
No,
the first responders, the Cottonwood Fire Department, as well as the Cottonwood Police Department, both stepped up in big ways for us, and especially initially before we could get hand sanitizer and whatnot, they provided us with short donations, which allowed us to purchase those additional things to prevent it. So, thank you.
All right. Well, we are running out of time. There's so many other things that I wish we had time to discuss. But before we go, I just want to say hats off to both of you, especially Peter Flynn, for helping secure so many grants here recently. I'm just really proud of all the hard work. We can't do what we do unless we have money coming in. A lot of that comes from grants, of course, and community support. The other big thing that we do is our annual fundraiser, which may have to go virtual this year. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for the teaser on that, Carol. But anyone out there that has time to volunteer or wants to make a tax-deductible donation, please reach out. We're doing great work here at the coalition. And Matthew, we're very fortunate to have you. Carol, I hope you're going to be president for a long, long time because we need you. And thanks for stepping up. And that's it. We're out of time. I just want to say thanks to both of you, and thanks to the listeners at home who are watching today. And stay safe and healthy out there. And we'll see you next week. Take care.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.